What? Come on, man. Cut the bullshit, man. Tell the people what they need to know, man. Beating around the bush. Let me stop this nonsense. 25 million views. From a channel that has 3.6 million subscribers. The title of the video is How to Get Six-Pack Abs. 12-minute video, and he goes on and on and on about how to get the six-pack abs. He reckons that you burn belly fat by doing direct ab work. So I'm gonna cut the bullshit in half here, man. Let's call the bullshit. I'm gonna give you some tips that you can use for the future when you're watching some of these guys on YouTube, or you listen to somebody speak about fat loss, about how to get some six packs. I'm gonna give you some ideas, some tips to call their bullshit. The first and most important point is that if somebody promises you 3-minute abs, 5-minute abs, 8-minute abs, hey, do this for 3 minutes a day and you'll get six-pack abs, you know. This is number one. The moment you hear that shit, turn off. Turn off your mind, turn off your hearing, turn off the TV, turn off the screen. It's absolute nonsense. They're trying to sell you some shit. Newsflash, nothing that's good will come easy, okay? You can't get anything about 3 minutes, okay? Don't even get off the couch if you're thinking, oh fuck, you know, 3 minutes is not bad. I'm just gonna get up, you know, do whatever he does for 3 minutes and I've got six-pack abs, I'll be shredded. That's number one point. Cut that. Cut that bullshit, man. The second point when people are talking about six-pack abs is, if somebody's telling you that you're gonna lose belly fat by doing direct ab work, i.e. crunches, sit-ups, Russian twists, Pilates, or anything like that, they're also talking shit, okay? It's absolute nonsense. It makes no sense. Now, for somebody that doesn't take my word, I'll give you some more evidence. In the description below, I'm going to link an article which talks about a study that was done. This research study put participants through a 6-week direct ab work program, and at the end of the 6 weeks, they found nothing. They found that no matter how much volume these participants went through in terms of direct ab work, crunches, you know, sit-ups, they found no difference in the abdominal fat percentage. Okay? Just because you're hitting an area doesn't mean you're going to burn the fat in that area. The body doesn't work like that. The body has spots where it likes to store fat. For men, mostly it's around the abdominal region. For women, typically it's around the hip region. But there's no, you know, fast rules about that either. You know, you can store fat in many different manners, right? It's all genetic. But to think that you can hit that area and burn fat from that area is complete bullshit. Okay, direct ab work is not going to melt the fat around your abdomen. Okay, understand that. So when somebody says to you, "Oh, you want six-pack? Let's do some ab work, direct ab work," tell them they're talking shit. Tell them they don't know what they're doing, and yeah, it's bullshit. Now, if somebody's telling you how to get a six-pack, and at no point they tell you about calories, at no point they talk about what you're putting in your mouth, or what you are, or how much time you're spending not putting anything in your mouth, don't take that shit for serious either. The bottom line is, we're talking fat here, body fat percentage. If your body fat percentage is high, you could be doing whatever the hell you want to be doing in terms of your direct ab work. You're not going to get abs. So those are the points that I would suggest. I've just watched the video, 12 minutes long, and the guy's talking about every bloody possible ab routine, and at no point did he mention the real truth of the matter. Right? He's talking about burning fat by doing crunches. God. Now, if you've watched some of my previous videos, you're going to anticipate what I'm going to say next. But the best way to get six-pack abs is using some of these points. The first point is you gotta get into a fast. Okay, that is the most efficient way to get six-pack abs. Okay, getting into a fast has many different advantages. For number one, glucagon is released in your bloodstream, and glucagon is the hormone which is gonna get you six-pack abs. Glucagon goes into the fat stores and ambulates that energy into the bloodstream so you can use it. But you cannot get into the glucagon period until you get into a fast, right? So fasting gets you glucagon, you burn fat. The second point is you need to train while in a fasted state. Because if you train in that fasted state, your body's gonna be like, oh shit, man, this guy has not eaten anything and we're going through a vigorous exercise routine. We best emulate that stored fat. Now, I've also talked about this in the past, about the exercises you should be using. It only makes sense to get the biggest, juiciest muscles involved in the training. Okay, the juiciest muscles of the human body, the ones that have the most amount of muscle mass, are found in the lower body. Hold on, check it. The best exercises are going to be the ones that are involving the biggest muscle groups in your body. And they are usually found in the lower body, right? The biggest muscles of the human body are the glutes, the hamstrings, the quads. Those are the big energy users, right? So you want to be incorporating exercises which are using those muscles. The abdominal wall, or the structures in the abdomen in terms of muscular composition, they're quite small. One glute has more muscle mass than the whole entire core, right? So you putting all that work in, what he's talking about, into direct ab work in the hope you're going to burn energy, it's nonsense. Do a set of squats, do a set of deadlifts, do some lunges, do anything to incorporate the lower body, and you're going to be burning much more energy. It's much more time efficient, right? The biggest muscles have the biggest energy expenditure. That's as simple as it gets. So if we're talking about burning fat, use those muscles. Don't worry about the abdominal exercises. The other point about getting six-pack abs is that it takes time, right? 3 minutes this, 5 minutes that, makes no sense, right? It's going to take you a long time to get six-pack abs, especially if you're starting from a very high body fat percentage, okay? So just get to terms with that, and understand it's going to take time. You're not going to get it in 3 minutes. The other point I want to mention is that everyone has six-pack abs, or eight-pack abs, or 10-pack abs. We're born with muscle. The only question is how much body fat you have. So the question here is not about training the muscles underneath the layer of fat. The question should be, how do we get the fat off so we can see the musculature underneath? So the topic should be, how do I burn fat? And the secondary effect of that is going to be, oh look, I can see my six-pack. You see the difference? It's a paradigm shift. I don't want you thinking about, I want to see, you know, my tricep, or I want to see my abs. Nah, man, all you got to talk about is losing weight, losing fat, okay? Now, to go back over the points that I mentioned in this video, number one, get in the fast. Get in the fast. If you can get to a 16-hour fast and then train, brilliant. If you can do it every day, the results are going to come your way much faster. Use the big compound movements that I mentioned in the previous videos and in this video, the squats, the deadlifts, the lunges, I guess. I mentioned in this video as well, for the upper body bench press, pull-ups, push-ups, all that sort of stuff. Why? Because those muscles are the biggest, and the biggest muscles have the ability to use the most amount of energy. It only makes sense. Don't worry about direct ab work for abs. They're too small to elicit a major energy expenditure. Now, what body fat percentage do we need to see our abs? Typically, the recommendation is 10 to 12% body fat, and you're going to have a nice, visible six-pack. Now, if you're sitting at 25% body fat, you can still kind of poke your finger through and kind of feel, when contracted, the abdominal, the abs, right? You can feel them underneath. So you shave some of that fat off, voila, they're going to be visible. So work towards burning that fat off, and then you're gonna be very, very happy person once you see those abs pop out. Now, in terms of direct ab work, at that point, when you're at 10 to 12% body fat, now you can do some of that ab work to make them pop a little bit. But if you're thinking, oh, but I want to have a strong core. Now, this point frustrates me the most. People think doing direct ab work is going to get you a strong core, and it will, right? But there's a more effective way. You can kill two birds with one stone. When you're squatting and you're deadlifting, you are developing a strong core. There's no question about it. You cannot have a 2 times or 3 times body weight deadlift and have a weak core. It makes no sense. Your core is going to be very, very strong as your lifts increase in those big compound movements. As you can already tell, I do not like isolation exercises. It teaches the body different motor neuron patterns. It teaches the body to move in a non-realistic way, in a non-functional way. You know, you could be strong in every single muscle because you're isolating and doing the bro split. But then when it comes to real life, like lifting a box off the ground, snap city, you end up snapping the spine because you've taught the body to move in an unnatural way. So my recommendation to you guys is you can do the compound movements, lose fat, build muscle, build strength. It's an all-round better approach. And it's gonna be more time efficient and it's gonna be healthier for you, right? Anyway, that's my rant because of this guy on this damn video that has 25 million views. Maybe my video can, be a drop in that ocean towards the right side of good advice. But this guy's got a massive following, so most people are going to be misled, unfortunately. But anyway, maybe I can do my best in the future to kind of bring the right information to the people. So if you've enjoyed this video, I'm happy. I hope you've gotten something out of it. And until next time, see you guys.